He's not just a country singer, he is country music. George Strait, the voice behind countless classics like Amarillo by Morning and Check Yes or No, has defined the sound of generations. But now, fans everywhere are stunned. A sudden and unexpected update about the King of Country has left hearts heavy and questions swirling. Could this be the beginning of the end for the legend we all grew up with? Stay with us as we uncover the emotional truth behind the headlines. This is the story that's left fans in absolute shock. George Harvey Strait Sr. was born on May 18, 1952, in the small town of Poteet, Texas, and raised in nearby Pearsall. His early life wasn't glamorous. When his parents divorced while he was in 4th grade, his mother left with his sister. George and his brother John Buddy Strait Jr. stayed with their father, John Byron Strait Sr., a junior high school math teacher. Weekends weren't for leisure. They were spent working on the family's massive 20,000-acre cattle ranch near Big Wells, Texas. There, George learned the values of work, responsibility, and perseverance. His first love wasn't even country music. Like many teens in the 60s, he was captivated by the Beatles and other British rock bands. But over time, his heart drifted home. He began listening to Hank Williams, Merle Haggard, Lefty Frizzle, George Jones, and Bob Wills. He didn't discover country on the radio, but at live shows in dusty Texas towns. Nobody could have predicted that this quiet boy from Pearsall would one day be called the King of Country Music. Offstage, his life brought both deep joy and heartbreaking tragedy. In 1971, he eloped with his high school sweetheart Norma across the border to Mexico. A year later, they welcomed their daughter Jennifer, and in 1981, their son George Bubba Strait Jr. Then, in 1986, tragedy struck. Jennifer, only 13 years old, was killed in a car accident near San Marcos. The family was devastated. In her memory, they created the Jennifer Lynn Strait Foundation, quietly supporting children's charities in San Antonio to this day. Bubba, meanwhile, inherited his father's cowboy spirit. He graduated from Texas A&M University and rodeoed professionally. In 2006, George beamed with pride watching his son rope at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, then performed to a sold-out crowd that very night. In 2009, George's older brother Buddy passed away at age 58, yet again testing the family's strength. But George Strait leaned on what he always had: faith, family, and that Texas grit. In 2010, Strait became a spokesperson for the Wrangler National Patriot Program, supporting wounded and fallen U.S. troops and their families. He co-founded the Vaqueros Del Mar Invitational Golf Tournament near Bourne, Texas, raising over $5 million for David Faherty's Troops First Foundation. In 2012, Bubba and his wife Tamara had a son, George Harvey Strait III, instantly making the King of Country a grandpa. For decades, Strait hosted the George Strait Team Roping Classic, and when not on horseback, he was flying his Gulfstream G450 jet, famously used to assist Governor Greg Abbott with Hurricane Harvey relief in 2017. But not even legends escape controversy. In 2018, a bizarre story spread on Facebook. A woman named Emmy Lou Hayes claimed George Strait had stalked and harassed her. The post went viral, but it was fake. Snopes investigated and found no evidence of the woman or the claim. No reports, no lawsuits, just internet fiction. Not long after, memes claimed Strait called Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter project trash. Again, false. The quote came from a satirical page. George Strait never criticized Beyoncé publicly. He's never even commented on her work. Another internet lie, spread too fast, believed too easily. And then, in 2024, fans got riled up again, this time over a moment on stage. During one of Strait's massive stadium shows, he made a quick arm-pumping motion. Some called it a Trump train gesture, implying support for Donald Trump. Fans debated fiercely. Was it political? Was it just his stage routine? George Strait stayed silent. No confirmation, no denial, just the same steady presence he's always been. The speculation fizzled, as it always does. But this wasn't the first time Strait took a stand, however subtly. In 1999, at the CMA Awards, Strait and Alan Jackson performed Murder on Music Row, a hard-hitting song blaming Nashville labels for abandoning real country music in favor of pop. The duet sparked a firestorm. Some praised them as heroes. Others, especially newer artists, felt attacked. Even in 2024 retrospectives, the debate rages on, especially as modern country merges with rap, EDM, and TikTok trends. Murder on Music Row remains a battle cry for traditionalists, and neither Strait nor Jackson has apologized. They didn't need to. Then came a more personal criticism. Strait doesn't write most of his songs. For some, that disqualifies him as a true storyteller. But his fans see it differently. It's not about who wrote it. It's about how he sings it. With over 60 #1 hits, nobody can deny the impact. Frank Sinatra didn't write his songs either, and he's still a legend. So is George Strait. At the 2024 CMA Awards, one simple camera cut became a meme. While a high-energy country rap medley played, the camera zoomed in on George Strait, stone-faced, emotionless. Fans exploded online. Was he protesting the performance? Was it disapproval? Or just exhaustion? Strait, as always, made no statement. The internet had its moment, and the king remained silent. But the most heart-wrenching moment came on tour in Philadelphia. While performing alongside Chris Stapleton, George Strait suddenly had to sit down mid-set. Later, he joked that his back had gone out, saying, "I won't be dancing around like I normally do." But fans were worried. Was this the beginning of the end? Then came the moment no one expected. George turned to the audience and said, "I've got maybe 5 good years to sing my songs to you people, but for heaven's sake, it's been about 50 now, and I still enjoy it just as much as ever. When I move through those curtains and I see your smiling faces, my feet don't touch the ground until I walk back out and get on that bus." A lump formed in every throat. It was real, raw, human. Even George Strait has limits. In 2025, when Strait's stadium tour dates were released, fans noticed something shocking. No Texas shows. For any artist, that might be okay. But for George Strait, a proud Texan, this felt like betrayal. Fans in San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas voiced their confusion and frustration. Local media even called it a snub. There was no explanation, just speculation. Maybe it's a scheduling conflict. Maybe he's saving Texas for something big. But the silence stung. Then came another blow: environmental criticism. In 2022, a report revealed that Strait's private jet emitted 423 tons of carbon dioxide in a year, more than 27 average Americans combined. Fans debated. Some defended his need to travel privately. Others demanded climate accountability. But once again, George Strait remained silent. Through every era and trend, the legacy of George Strait stands tall, untouched, and unwavering. With more #1 singles and albums than any other artist in country music history, he's a true titan of the genre. Over 70 million records sold in the United States alone places him 12th across all music genres, trailing only the Beatles and Elvis Presley in gold and platinum accolades. Since 2013, he's held the world record for the most #1 hits on all Billboard charts, an astounding 60. He landed a top 10 hit every year for 30 straight years and has 22 CMA awards, including Entertainer of the Year in 3 separate decades. From his 2006 Country Music Hall of Fame induction to 70,000 fans cheering him on in San Antonio's Alamodome, his influence is unmatched. May 18th is now officially George Strait Day in Texas, and for fans, every day feels like it. His legend will never fade. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.